I'm about to hopefully de-influence you and help you save some money on some products and new releases that you just don't need. So let's get right into it because I have many products I want to dive into.
I can see the world from up here, from up here, from up here.
Let's start with primers because that's actually the first thing you would put on your face anyway. So let's just use that order to talk about these products. So I received, and I hate doing this, but I have to be really real, and I recommend so many good products, and I have to balance it out by telling you the products that they kind of suck, to be honest. These two products came out recently from Milk Makeup. They're a play basically, and this is something that I see in brands constantly. I'll get to that in a second, but they're a play basically on the Milk Jelly tints. I'm trying to look around and see if I have one nearby. I do. Okay, so if you're familiar with the Milk Jelly tints, like these are like the tinting blushes, these are basically the same formula. However, these are primers. So one is a more cooling, what's like the marketing on this? It's like a cooling water jelly ice primer. So you're meant to use these on top of underneath your makeup, but I would suggest obviously putting these on top of some form of skin prep. Here's a problem with these. So I didn't even give this one a try because this one was so frustrating and so pilly and like kind of just ridiculous that I didn't even give this one a go because they are essentially the same formula. One is just more cooling, and I'll place them on the top of my hand so you can actually see what they essentially look like. So same bouncy texture as the Milk Jelly tints, right? But those are like the blushes, and those actually have a good purpose because they're thin and they're jelly-like, right? And they're staining and they feel like water, but they're good because they actually stain your cheeks and they offer like a long-lasting blush effect. They can be very finicky and very, very difficult to work with. I've talked about that in the past, but all in all, they do serve a good purpose and they do deliver what they're intending to deliver, which is a pretty blush look that is actually really long-lasting and stains your cheeks essentially. So great for someone on the go who wants an all-day blush, and also great for someone who's a natural makeup wearer because you can't really see and feel the product on your skin because it is made with this like water jelly infused formula basically. So it goes on like water, just like that. Now the thing about this one that really bothers me too is, it's supposed to be called a cooling water jelly. The whole thing about these kind of products and these formulations is they're going to feel cool no matter what because of what they are. They feel like water, and water, whether it's room temperature, ice cold from the freezer, it's going to feel cold once it hits your skin regardless. So that marketing term is just annoying, and to me I would rather grab an ice roller that's never going to run out and just run it on my face. Now the one that really got me going and really got me upset was this one. This one just was a messy disaster on my skin. I used this, did a whole first impression, and you can already see the chunks of this product coming off. It leaves you with like little chunks of jelly, which you can't really like rub in, so you have to kind of like flake it off your skin. But this pilled up every bit of sunscreen, moisturizer I had underneath like crazy, and it turned into like this chaotic mess on my skin. This one just really got me going, really upset me because it's such a waste of money. So if you pick something up like this thinking you're going to use it as a primer, and primers are intended to be used as your last step in your skincare routine. So you would put on your serum, your moisturizer, your sunscreen, whatever products you use for your skin prep, like your actual your skincare, you would use all those things first. And then with any primer, you would use primer as your last step. It's your last step as a barrier between your skin prep and your makeup. That's when primer fits into place. But when you use this as a primer, it creates, like I said, pure and utter chaos on your skin. This was such a frustrating product. It's honestly what prompted me to look at more of these products and to do this video, because this one got me so going, and just got me kind of heated because it's just so gimmicky and it's really disappointing. And I do love a lot of Milk makeup products. I think they have some really great formulas. This is just riding the coattails essentially of this, and it's like, you know what, let's just let this have its day. It's a great product. Let's not ride the coattails to the point of no return with all these other products that are gonna piggyback on it, because they're useless. And let this be its own star and shine bright, and not let it be diminished by a gimmicky product. So these, please do not waste your money on them. They are not gonna serve as good primers. They're not gonna do what they're saying they're gonna do. This one's like a watermelon jelly glow, and it doesn't smell like anything, but it's just gimmicky. Why do we need a watermelon glow? I don't know. I just don't see the point. Don't waste your pennies. They're hard to get. So please skip these as far as new releases go. You do not need these two gimmicky products from Milk. And if you get them, I hope you can return them, because there's so many other better products you could get instead. And I actually want to offer you a suggestion that's drugstore, that's going to give you a much better all-around experience, and it's going to give you some glow, it's going to give you some grip, and it's going to actually prime your skin and not just be a thin, weird, jelly, soupy, chaotic layer on top of your skin. So skip this if you want a good alternative that's still new and it satisfies that urge to get a new product, because I feel you and I know that feeling so well. I wake up with that feeling every single day. This is a standout product that's new and I've been just thoroughly enjoying. It's the Maybelline Grippy Serum Primer. It has 2% niacinamide in it, so if you are allergic or sensitive to it, then you could skip this, but if you're not, this is a great buy from the drugstore. Okay, we're gonna move on, and let's actually keep it drugstore related because I have 2 other products from the drugstore that I want to talk about before we move on to other products. e.l.f. Cosmetics has my heart with so many products. I love my e.l.f. Wow Brow, live for it. I bought like 75 of these at this point, and I love a ton of their products. I love their liquid bronzer, I love their liquid blush, I love the Soft Glam foundation, love, fantastic, $8, can't go wrong. I like their concealers. There's a ton of stuff I love from e.l.f. Let me just say that. Their lash extender mascara. So when e.l.f. launches new products, I do get hyped up, I do get excited, and I always have high hopes, and I love their price points. Their price points they're magical, even though they've gone way up, as has everything in life, not just eggs. Everything's gone up in price, but I still love their products, and I still they're still a bargain when you really truly think about it in the scheme of like how expensive makeup is. But they have 2 products that launched recently that really got me down and really disappointed me in their decisions as a brand. So one is the e.l.f. Holy Strokes Microfine Brow Pen. I got this, and I love a good micro brow pen. I love my Maybelline Build-A-Brow. I love all micro brow pens. Like, let's just be real. I'm obsessed with creating the illusion and the look of brow hairs that I don't have, that don't exist on my skin. So I was pumped to get this. There's a reason why I have not talked about this yet, and it's because it sucks. And it wasn't expensive. It didn't break the bank, obviously, but just don't waste your money and your time on this because literally this is brand new. I've tried being the key word here, tried to use this so many times, and it does nothing. There's nothing there. I've kept it facing down. I've shaken it up. I've done everything I can to like work it to get the product to come out of the pen itself. There's nothing there. So this is the product. I mean, for real, like apply as much pressure as humanly possible. That's as much as you get. And the thing about this too is like the actual pen part, it's just very like wobbly and wonky. It's like flimsy, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So the color payoff, not good. Even it says shake well. I've shaken it as well as I possibly can. I've shaken this till the cows have come home, like literally, and there's still no pigment that comes out. So was very disappointed in this one. There are so many other great drugstore brow pens on the market. I highly recommend, if you have not checked it out yet, the Maybelline Build-A-Brow. That one is always a safe bet, and it's never gonna disappoint you, and it's roughly the same price. I think the Maybelline Build-A-Brow is about maybe like $4 more than this, but yeah, skip this one from e.l.f. I was really sad because I had high hopes. I thought it was going to be the perfect duo, the Wow Brow with the e.l.f. pen, but it wasn't. It left this guy hanging really bad. Another product that came out recently from e.l.f. Cosmetics is the Halo Glow Powder Filter. This is a nightmare if you have texture to your skin. I don't have a lot of texture, but I work with a lot of people that have texture, so I'm very familiar with what's gonna work for textured skin. This is not it. This is a nightmare and a half for textured skin. This is basically a glittery setting powder that's not flattering. And I say this because there is, hold please, there's the Hourglass ambient lighting powders. So this is an actual powder, okay? It's like meant to diffuse, to give like a bounce back look to your skin, to bring light to your skin. So that's what this powder is right here. And you can use it to, like as a finishing powder. It's not gonna set your makeup because it's not a setting powder, but it's gonna finish your makeup in a really soft, luminous, almost like a candle lit kind of glow. That's what's gonna give your skin. And it's gonna give your skin a filtered effect because of the formulation where it's like a mix of some shimmers and light reflecting qualities in a powder form that filters the look of imperfections is what I'm trying to get to. Now this is what I would consider trying to be that product, but really failing miserably. This leaves you just textured and enhanced in the wrong way. So if you have any kind of skin texture, if you have dry spots, if you have larger pores, this is going to be a nightmare on your skin. So I really highly urge you to skip this one. And this also was a big disappointment because I love the Halo Glow filter. I love this product. It is one of the best products from e.l.f. Cosmetics, period. It rivals the Charlotte Tilbury entirely. I mean, they're identical formulations, and sometimes I choose that one over the Charlotte because it's so good. But this is just not it. Like I said, just not the formula to get. And if you have any kind of texture, it's gonna be like a magnifying glass on your texture. Okay, that was it for drugstore. Now I wanna talk about a higher end product and a brand that I generally speaking really love. And so this actually was definitely a letdown, as is all these products, by the way. Never buy a product hoping that it's gonna suck. You know what I mean? Like, you never want to waste your money, and you never want to waste the brand's time and energy as well. I do get sent quite a bit of products in PR, which I'm so grateful for. And I never want to go and like just, you know, I don't want to drag it through the mud basically. That's never what I want to do. You have to be honest, and there's so many products on the market that I have to give you my full opinion and whether or not they're worth your money, because there's just so many things to choose and to buy. And you don't want to end up wasting your money on a product that is just not worth it. If there's a cheaper product available that's even better, I want to always give you those options instead of recommending products that are just subpar. That's kind of how I feel about this one. This is the Natasha Denona. I picked this up all on my own, and I'm so happy that I didn't pick up more shades because I almost got 3 shades, but I ended up just grabbing this one to kind of spur the moment. And I'm really happy that I only got one because I'm very disappointed in the formula. This created quite a bit of patchiness that showed up more and more intensely as I wore it throughout the day. So when I first initially applied this, I thought, okay, this is nice. Like it's nice. It's not groundbreaking. It's not like the prettiest blush formula. It's not the creamiest cream blush formula I've ever used. It's not the easiest to apply, but it's nice and I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna get my money's worth, and you get the idea. And then I wore it all throughout the day. I put it on pretty early in the day. My rearview mirror, I kept looking in there and I kept thinking, why does my makeup look so patchy? What is going on that looks so patchy? And it's just, my cheek just kept getting more and more patchy as I wore it throughout the day. So the wear test on this, it did not pass. It failed miserably on the wear test. Formula, it's fine, like I said, but it's not anything to write home about. I would much rather spend even more money and buy and invest in the Westman Atelier cream blushes because those are outstanding and they look good on everyone. Whether you have textured skin, oily skin, dry skin, like everyone can use that formula and use it well and love it. This was pricey, not Westman Atelier pricey by any means, but it was still pricey and it just was a very underwhelming formula. I also just don't like the lineup aspect of this. I'm over thin pans because I like to dip my brush into it and get a well-rounded amount of the product and then pre-blend and then apply it to my skin. I don't want a skinny pan of highlighter. I don't want a skinny pan of cream blush. I would rather you sell me something a little bit cheaper where I can buy them individually. I don't really want them paired together, but that's just me. And that's also me being like a little nitpicky when it comes to this product. And I wouldn't have nitpicked it this much if it wasn't for the fact that it was patch city the rest of the day as I wore it, and it really failed me. This kind of adds to the annoyance of this whole formula and just why I wouldn't recommend it. There are so many great cream blushes on the market. Like I mentioned, the most expensive one being the Westman Atelier. It's a fantastic formula, but if you want something cheaper and you want a good cream blush, I love the ones from Persona Cosmetics. They're a cream stick, much like the Westman Atelier. Or I would go for the Fenty Beauty cream blushes. They're small, compact, they're pretty affordable, like relatively speaking, and the formula is fantastic. They never fail, they never go patchy, they blend on beautifully, and they're very, very long lasting. They're ones that I keep in my kit and will continue to use and refill in my kit as I run out. But very underwhelming, very patchy as I wore it throughout the day, which is very disappointing. And I wish she also launched more neutrals. Like they're all pink, they're all like hot pink, they're all peachy pink, they're all like slightly mauvey pink, but they're all like pretty much they all look the same essentially. So that's why I'm also happy I only got one, because they look all the same anyway, and there's not enough variance in tones to make them exciting, and that also really got me too. Whereas like, once again, going back to Fenty, there's so many huge variances in tones. There's such a great variety with the Fenty Beauty ones, and even the Westman Atelier, there's a great variety of tones to choose from. These all looked the same. I would skip the Natasha Denona. You do not need to buy this new release from Natasha. I'm sorry, Natasha, but I will probably be buying the In Bloom palette because that looks phenomenal and stunning, and I'm a sucker for a good eyeshadow palette. But this one, skip this one. Okay, next up, we have 2 mascaras that quite frankly might be the 2 worst mascaras I've ever tried. Okay, and I know that's a big statement. They're up there. One of them for sure is one of the worst mascaras formula-wise that I've ever tried. The other one is a good formula, but the brush doesn't do it any favors whatsoever. It like hinders it completely. Let's get into these 2 because I had high hopes. I love House Labs. I love the brand as a whole. I think they have some amazing products and like really well executed products. So I was very intrigued and very excited to try the Be Structural mascara. However, this is such a flop in my opinion. It is crunchy. It's not layerable. It's not buildable. It dries down very quickly. So you have to work very, very fast with this formula. But the biggest complaint that I have about this formula is not the formula itself. It's the brush. The brush does absolutely nothing to deposit this product in a flattering way, in a pro-like way, in the kind of way that you would expect a good mascara wand to do so. And here's the thing about mascara. More than half of that is due to the brush. If you love the brush, you're going to end up loving the formula. And usually if you get a good mascara, the formula and the brush, they pair harmoniously together and they create what gives you a great mascara. If you are missing one of those aspects, the other one takes the other one down. So in this case, the formula is not horrible, but the wand is tough to work with. It's just not a good wand. And because of that, this takes down any bit of credibility the actual formula has. It makes it not worth checking out and not worth the money. You know, I talk about this a lot too. My mindset is always drugstore mascaras first. Save your money where you can. Don't spend all your money on high-end mascara because 99.9% of the time, there's a drugstore formula out there that's even better and way more affordable, and they're probably made at the same place anyway. Save your money for formulas that matter. I always say setting powders, concealers, and foundations. That's where you should put your money as a makeup consumer, as a makeup wearer, and as a makeup artist too. I don't have any high-end mascaras in my pro kit. I've only had YSL Lash Clash. That's the only exception. That's a killer mascara, and I do talk about that a lot as well. So if you want a good high-end one that does everything, that's the one to get in my opinion. This one is just skip it. It gives me volume, it gives me length, it gives me separation. There's zero thickness with this formula. But the thing that bothers me is I really like to build up my mascara. I like to layer it. I like to go in. I like to coat it. I like to have fun with this or with mascaras in general. But what I find the most frustrating is the fact that I have to go in there 1,000 times, it feels like, just to get any kind of payoff with this formula. And then once I get in there, it's drying down so quick that I can't even layer a second coat. So long story short, skip this one from House Labs. I'm so sad to say it, but it's really the wand that just ruined this formula for me. Another mascara, and this one is genuinely not just being dramatic, okay? And I hate to be dramatic, but this is one of the worst mascara formulas I've ever tried, period, on the market. It is dry as the desert. It's like they put sand in this formula. And the one thing that got me the most about this formula was the removal. The removal was, talk about sand, the grittiness that I had in my lash line. It was like I was rubbing sandpaper and remnants of sand all over my eyes, and it was like cutting my skin, like, not to be dramatic, but I'm going to be very dramatic. It felt like I was cutting my skin with like sandpaper, trying to remove this mascara from my lashes. Don't say I didn't warn you. If you pick it up and you try to remove it, wow, just all I can say is try to melt it off first. Try to use a melting cleansing oil, cleansing balm to get this off, and really try to soften it before you go in and start rubbing. Because if you start to rub right away, it's literally like rubbing rocks and sand on your eyeballs. It is crunchy, sandy, horrible. And in case I didn't mention it, I know I didn't mention it, it's the Benefit Bad Gal Bounce Mascara. So this is the tube. It's a really cool tube. I was excited for this. I'm a sucker for good packaging and like fun packaging. And this is the wand. It's bulky, it's all over the place. It's like it can't make up its mind. It's got short bristles, it's got long bristles, it's got a chunky tip to it. It's all over the place. But that aside, I could get down with this brush completely. I can make this work 1000%. But the formula is that of dried sand mixed with paste. Like, that's what the formula is like. So don't say I didn't warn you. Please avoid this mascara. If you get it, I know you're gonna be disappointed. So do not waste your money on this new release. It is gonna definitely disappoint you big time if you pick it up. My conclusion is this is such a waste. So you do not need this one from Benefit. All right, another new release, and this one also hurts me because I love brands, and I love specifically two kinds of brands: female-owned, founded, created brands, and makeup artist created and founded brands. This one is a makeup artist created brand, and that kills me to say it because it's just not worth it. There's just nothing special about it. It's not that it's bad, but the products I'm talking about right now are the new Makeup by Mario, the Super Sheen lip glosses. Here's the issue. They came out and I was like, wow, all these colors look so pretty. They look beautiful. Like, I cannot wait to get these. They all look like such unique shades, like shades that are right in my alley. There's like some cool neutrals. There's some mauves. There's some bright pinks. Here's the disappointment. They all end up looking the same. They're so sheer. And not that that's a bad thing necessarily, but it's just not what I'm going for. And I want like a little more color payoff than what these provide. They end up being so sheer that it really, at the end of the day, almost doesn't matter what shade you pick up because they all end up looking the same. They end up looking sheer with like a little hint of color. So if you get this, let me show you for example. This is what, it's not gonna look like this. It's gonna end up looking like that, okay? So very minimal color payoff. They're extremely sheer, which again, is fine for some people, but if you're buying it for like the beautiful shades that they come in, like look at this gorgeous like latte kind of mauve, it's gonna look like that. So there's slight variations obviously in the tone, but not enough to make them impactful, not enough to make them like special in my opinion. The bottom line is just there's so many great glosses on the market, And there's so many great drugstore glosses too, to be quite honest. And it kind of goes back to how I feel about mascaras. If you're trying to save some money on some of the formulas that you keep in your regular makeup routine, save money, not just on like the mascaras, like I said, but save money on glosses. Lip glosses are essentially, they're a dime a dozen. They can be a dime a dozen. There are some formulas that are super special and super unique and that I love and that I keep in my pro kit, like the Fenty Beauty gloss bombs. I love those. I will always use those and buy those for my pro kit. And they're just a fantastic formula. But then there's other glosses that just are not worth the more luxury price tag like these, right? Other ones that I think are really good that you'll save a ton of money on, you'll be just as happy, if not happier, to be quite honest, are any of the glosses from NYX. NYX has some of the best gloss formulas on the market, period. They are stunning formulas. They have plumping glosses, they have creamy glosses, they have lip oil glosses, they have so many glosses. They have butter glosses. They're fantastic. They've been around forever. They're amazing. And then that will allow you to splurge a little bit more where it really matters. Save your money where you can, and I would just say skip this new release from Makeup by Mario because I just feel like they're really underwhelming. All right, this next product is very controversial. Didn't realize it until I bought it, and I was like, you know, kind of like just seeing like what the general like reviews are on this product, and they're very mixed, but I'd say they're leaning more towards like really bad. But I think that there's also just a lot of misrepresentation of what this product actually does. I think there's a lot of confusion on what this product is designed to do. So I'm going to clear up some confusion, and I'm going to give you some of my pro tips on how to use this product and the best practices to use this product if you ended up picking it up if you're a Rhode fan. And this is the first product I ever bought from Rhode, believe it or not. This is the Peptide Lip Shape. Notice they call it a shape. They don't call it a definer, they call it a shape, okay? It's a shape contour. So you contour your lips, you shape them with them. And if you have ever watched Hailey Bieber do her makeup, you know she doesn't, generally speaking, have a very structured, defined lip line. It's very blurred, it's very blended out, it's very diffused. That is the exact idea behind this product, okay? So if you bought this product and you're mad and you feel like it was mismarketed and it's not doing what it's supposed to do, and it's not giving you like that traditional classic lip liner look, it's because it's not supposed to. So let me help you out. I'm gonna take my lipstick off, I'm gonna show you how to put this product on, and I'm gonna talk about the formula, and I am gonna tell you my end thoughts on it and whether I think it's worth it or not. So hold please. I'm gonna take out this beautiful Victoria Beckham lipstick that I had on, which is linked and listed in my full Face of Victoria Beckham beauty video. It's a shade Girl, in case you're wondering. I'm gonna buff out the edges. So here's the difference between this and, let's just say, an actual lip liner. This is designed to line and shape your lips. It's designed to define your lips. And because of that, the formula is very long wearing, which we'll get to the long wear part of this Rhode part in a second. It's disappointing when it comes to like the actual wear time of the product. They're not claiming for it to stay put all day, which is one thing to be said, you know, I'm just trying to speak the facts. I'm not team anyone over here at all. I could care less, but I want to give you like the actual like facts. So if you do buy this product, I want to make sure you're set up for success and you're prepared for what it is and you're not misled, because I think there's just so much misleading information out there on this product, and that's why I really want to talk about it, okay? So it's peptide infused. Peptides plump your lips. I love peptides, for example, in my skincare because it plumps my skin, it hydrates it, it nourishes it. So it's a nourishing ingredient first and foremost. So because this product has peptides in it, it's just not by nature going to be this long-lasting formula. It's not going to be pro-level, makeup forever, extreme wear lip liners that last all day, because those don't have peptides in it. This has peptides in it, and it's supposed to pair with that girl on the go, like clean girl, slick back, wet hair kind of vibe. Like that's like the vibe that I get with this. If you take that into consideration, then it delivers that vibe, but it just doesn't deliver what you would typically expect from a lip liner, like a Makeup by Mario or a Makeup Forever, for example. Here's the product. I got the shade Bend, and I wish I got Twist. It's first and foremost, it's a small, cheap, clunky little packaging. It feels like we're buying ColourPop or, you know, NYX, which is nothing wrong with that. You know, NYX kills it, right? Like I just said, but it doesn't feel like a high-end product. And not that Hailey Bieber has a high-end brand, but her price points are slightly up there. I mean, it's $26. It's also not like super cheap, right? And you could get products that are similar to this. They're much cheaper. And you can also use things at home that you already have to get the same exact effect. So let me swatch it so you can see what this looks like. This is Bend. It has a shine to it, not just because it's next to a lip gloss, but it has a shine to it. So that right there tells you that it's not gonna be long wearing. It has the peptides in it. That also right there is a clear indication that it's not going to be long wearing. It's not going to dry down on your lips and be budge proof, smudge proof, kiss proof, drink proof, cheeseburger proof. It's just not going to be that. this is not that girl, okay? Makeup Forever Extreme, she's that girl. So best practices, if you get this, this is not meant to define your lips in a sharp way. This is meant to give you what I do on my channel all the time. You know how you see me line my lips with like a neutral bronzer, a neutral contour, a neutral cream bronzer, and I smudge it out, and I do that to give my lips a fuller look without using a lip liner. That's exactly what this does. So if you buy it for that intended reason and you pair it with a lip liner so you get the best of both worlds, then my friends, you're gonna be happy with it. So this is how I would use and how I recommend you use the Rhode Peptide Lip Shape. So grab it and do yourself a favor. Start out with a matte lip area. This is going to increase the wear time and leave you not wanting that much more, okay? So this is bend. You're gonna start in the center, right around your cupid's bow, and then draw just like you normally would, okay? Now here's the thing. It comes with like this weird little silicone tip. This should have been round. This shouldn't have been flat, and it shouldn't have been this material. It should have been, honestly, it would have been way better if they had used this kind of smudger brush on the end from Victoria Beckham. This is the kind of tip that they should have had on the end, but they cheaped out. Okay, so here's the thing about the silicone tip. They say that you can clean up your lip line with it, but you can't clean up a lip line without concealer. So you'd have to go in, pick up a little bit of concealer, and then clean up with the flat side of it around the lip line. But you can't just clean up on the go. Like that's an impossible thing to do. So to say this is like used to clean up is really misrepresenting what it can and cannot do. And it cannot do that, okay? As a makeup artist of 17 years, I'm telling you can't clean up with this and without any concealer on the tip. So there's that. But what you can do is just spread it around. But honestly, this tip is quite literally useless. And this was a miss on that end. They should have just skipped it and maybe added like, I don't know, like a sealer would be good. Like a liquid sealer to seal in the contour, to lock it in. Kind of like my Chanel double-ended lipsticks. They should have added a liquid sealer like that. Then it would have made more sense, but that would have cost way more money and they would have had to jack the prices up like crazy. So same thing on the bottom. You're gonna use this to create a shadow, just like I do with bronzers, neutral contours, both cream and powder. And just skip that silly little silicone thing. Take your finger, and this is all you need to do. And this is what Hailey Bieber does anyway. She uses her finger and she smudges the absolute heck out of every lip line that she has on her lips. So when you think about it in that way, the product does make a lot of sense for her. It really does. And it's a product that I would use if it was A, more useful shades. The shades are like just, they're kind of whatever. And B, if it actually lasted, that'd be great. And if they skip the peptides, because I just don't think that they're necessary. Because the peptides are what's slowing down this formula, and the peptides are what's making this formula not last on your lips. And that's the most frustrating part from what I gather in social media. But what you're left with is not a defined lip. But what you are left with is definitely a fuller looking pout. So if that's what you're going for, great. Now this is how I would actually use it. I would apply it like this. I would smudge it out just with my fingertip, just lightly. You don't have to go smudge it out all the way. Because remember, it picks up on your finger and you're just smudging it off and you're removing a lot of the product. The less smudging and the less blending out, the better. So now I would do this. If you had this product and you want to make it last and you want to be happy with the end result, I would take a little bit of like a finishing powder, a pressed powder, something that's translucent on a small brush. This is my N14. I'm going to take it and I'm going to lock it into place. Set it. Lock it down. Lock those peptides in so it doesn't move. If you don't do this, don't be upset that it's not lasting because it's just not going to last. Like I said, the peptides make it not last. And it's just not a pro product, you know? So now you can go over it with your lip liner of choice. This is Smoky Pink from Makeup by Mario. And now we have this beautiful like lifted, fuller look to our pout. And now we can go in and define and cocktail it. This is what I do on clients every time I do their makeup. I start with a cream neutral bronzer or a cream neutral contour and or powder bronzer, and then I lock it into place, and then I go on with the lip liner color of choice before I do the lipstick. So it's like a technically 4-part system. So if you use it in this way, then you'll be happy. Just make sure you set your expectation to that and to not that it's going to be the ultimate lip liner that's gonna last all day. Because if that's your expectation, you're gonna really hate this product. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking, layer Smoky Pink on top. Now you would really see the impact of the first product more if I bought a deeper shade, but I goofed and I bought a shade that's a little too light. So generally, if you're doing this kind of technique, you would still see some of that peeking through, and you still can see some of it peeking through, but it would be more impactful and more useful and more like how I do this on set with clients and how I use this on myself if it was a slightly deeper shade. Now, if you're fairer than me, it would show up a lot more. It's just more for like a fairer skin tone. So now Smoky Pink and whatever lip liner you choose to go on top, you're gonna bring all the way to the corners, because that's gonna define. And that is how you would use the Rhode Peptide Lip Shape Contour Sticks, okay? So set your expectation lower if you get it. And you know, the price, yeah, it's not great. And the packaging, is it really cheap and like feels like nothing? Yes, absolutely. Is the silicone tip useless? Yes, absolutely. Bring your expectation from here, way down here. Know that it's not gonna last on your lips. Nourishing and long wearing don't go hand in hand. That's just the reality. So I really want to talk about this product. I really want to give you some best safe practices on how to use it, so you're not frustrated, so you're set up for success. So if you did buy it, I don't want you to feel like you wasted your money. I don't want you to use the tips I showed you in this video to help you out. But if you didn't pick this up yet, here's my final thoughts. You don't need this product. You don't need to spend your money on it. It's not going to change your world, and you're probably going to be disappointed. So if you do skip this product and you want the same kind of effect, take any neutral powder bronzer, believe it or not. And I say neutral because it cannot be too warm and too orange. That will look like you have an orange peel above your lip. Has to be neutral. It can be cream. It could be powder. If it's powder, use a small brush like my N12 brush to smudge it on, like you see me do on my channel all the time. And if it's cream, you can use the same kind of brush, the N12 brush, to smudge it on. And if it is cream, just do a light little baby dusting of powder to lock it into place. Put your lip liner on top, you're good to go, you're golden, and you could skip purchasing this for $26. And it, by the way, PS, side note, it took forever to get to my house. So I waited a long time to try this product. That was the last product that I don't think you need. You do not need to spend your money on that product or any of the products I showed you in this video. I really hope this helps you and your spending. I hope this helps you decide what to pick up and what's worth it as a makeup lover, a makeup consumer, a makeup wearer. I'm all three of those things as well. So I only ever want to help you decide what to get and what to spend your money on, because there's just so much out there constantly being released, and it can be really confusing and just really hard to decide what's worth it. So these are not worth it in my opinion. If you have any other products that you think are not worth it as well, that you would like to add to this list, feel free to leave those in the comments below as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I really hope it helps you out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.